welcome to this chat view with Matt Wingett and the English sisters.
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you, ladies?
We're feeling great, aren't we, again?
We are, again, yeah.
We've got those great motorways developed to the States.
Yeah, we have. We
access
indeed.
them all the time, and it's a lovely sunny day here.
It is.
Isn't it?
It's lovely. What about you? Is it nice over there?
Well, it's a bit grey, but I went out this morning for a run, and so I can tell you that it's very hot and sweaty out there. That's not entirely true. Perhaps it was just me. But yeah,
well, when you get running,
it's kind of. I live by the sea here.
Yeah.
You know, about a 5-minute walk from the sea, and it's actually lovely. So you know, even on a grey day, you can go out and watch the sea, and it's all kind of got this grey surface to it with the ships going over it, and it's lovely. It's really lovely. So yeah, it's always a good day is the answer to your question.
And is that when you get most creative? Like when you're out on your morning walks? Is that when you access your sort of creative?
Well, that's a good question. It's a good question. Mainly when I'm sitting at home having a cup of tea, that's when it all kicks off. That's stuff.
And in what room does it kick off in particular?
Oh, now we're getting very particular.
It's just really interesting to know where people get creative, you know, on what chair, in what room.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting for me. I mean, you're kind of asking about the anchors that fire off the creativity. And for me, these days, it's more like having a cup of tea rather than a room. So, for example, if I'm sat down, there's a tea room near here. If I go down to the tea room, I sit and I write, it's the cup of tea is the answer.
Wow. Well, we love tea, don't we?
We do.
That's probably why we love your stories.
Yeah. It could be.
Well, you are also old hands at writing stories, aren't you? I mean, you've had a couple of books out yourself about this. And I think you'll understand that when I'm writing, what I'm doing is putting in a healing message inside the story to some extent. I think that you're much more. I think you're great experts at that yourselves. But that's part of it. When I was younger, I used to write stories that were actually quite depressing.
And what used to fire? What was the creative state when you were younger? What was it that you did to get you into that state? If you still remember it.
I think that the real thing was that I hadn't learned to find my own voice. I'd been through college and university, and all of the texts that we'd been given to read were depressing. And I thought that good literature was depressing. Like Thomas Hardy. I mean, he's a great writer, but, you know, he's not big on happy endings, that man.
No, not at all. So you had that belief within you that to be a good writer, it had to have some kind of a depressing ending or something depressing.
Yeah, or Franz Kafka, you know, there's another one. I mean, you know, how depressing can you get with Franz Kafka? And I feel sorry for kids who come through college and university, and maybe it's different now. But back then, you know, you would come through 3, 4, 5 years of terribly depressing authors. And, you know, you're a teenager, you're already fairly unstable emotionally. It's not good for you. It's not good for you. So healing stories are better. Healing stories are better, that's for sure. Ones with an upbeat metaphor at the end. I think that's really useful.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And what about the names of your characters? Like the new character in this new book you've written. She has this quite a particular name. Where do you get your names from?
Yeah, that one in particular. Her name is Linda Tolstoy.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting name.
Yeah, interesting indeed.
Heaven's like our guide.
Yeah, we found that really interesting. The name of the character.
That's a book.
Well, the reason I went for Linda Tolstoy, and let's just get the plug in, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's get the plug in. Okay, so hello everyone.
Okay.
I've just written a new book,
Yeah.
and it's called Heaven's Light, Our Guide.
Yeah, lovely.
And it's available on Amazon, and it's an ebook. And basically what it does is it ties together a lot of the stuff that I've done with hypnosis and NLP
It does.
to generate a very strong healing tale. And I'm sure that you'll enjoy it. I think Violetta's read it, haven't you, Violetta?
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's the story. But Linda Tolstoy, I got the name very simply because I needed somebody's name who was going to stand out, to be unusual.
It wasn't.
And Tolstoy is a Russian name, and the city that the action takes place in is Portsmouth, which is the south coast of England. And so really it was a question of having something slightly outlandish and unusual, but also with a good English first name, so that there was something English about her, but something other at the same time. So yeah.
So that's sort of an element of mystery.
Familiar but mysterious at the same time.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Open
So-
to curiosity.
Because, I mean, the story is with Linda is that she lives a very, very ordinary, dull life.
Yeah.
And she works at the city council, and she organises painting double yellow lines on the roads
Oh, gosh.
to stop people from parking in the wrong places. And she lives in a very ordinary world. And so part of her name is to talk about the potential inside of her. You know, part of her is good old ordinary Linda, which is an ordinary English name. And then we have Tolstoy, which is a kind of extraordinary name in its associations with other people.
Yes.
And with the great writer Tolstoy. It's about someone who's got imagination but doesn't even know it yet.
Yeah.
And really the story is about the opening of their mind to new ideas and to new potentials inside themselves. But that sounds awfully heavy.
No,
And it's
it's
really-
not.
No,
It's very
it's not.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's very fun. It's a
Yeah.
lovely story to read. Actually, I read it
Really quickly, you told
with
me.
the tube healer. I read it in just one session. It was about
One
less than an
session.
hour. I don't even know how long it took. I was just reading away there on my computer. You know, like because we've got it on Kindle, the Mac.
Yeah, it's very...
So I just read it on there.
It's actually quite long. I mean, it's 30,000 words, so it's about 2/3 the length of a full novel. So if you did it in one sitting, I'm really proud.
Yeah, I think I must have read it quite quickly.
Well, you're a very quick reader.
Yeah. Bit of photo reading in there.
Yeah, maybe. I only read a little bit of it. I was really interested, though, when she whipped her head round. I thought that was amazing. I got quite tranced out by it, and then I was really tranced out by it, actually, because I can still remember that. And I said to Violetra, I like the way Matt uses words.
Yeah, and how the room disappears
Yeah.
and then it appears. And there's a lot of mystery in there. And I think it's about opening people's eyes to the possibilities of what's really out there that they can't actually see, when they're going about their everyday life, which is a real shame. So books like yours really do open up new possibilities in a very creative and fun way for people that may not be into people that may not be into neuropsychology or hypnosis or NLP. They can read one of your stories and then something will just click in their mind and at some kind of subconscious or other than conscious level that, things can change and there are lovely possibilities out there for them.
I think that was, thank you. I mean, that is absolutely what I was aiming for. And it's the same with the other one, the tube healer, which is available free if anyone wants to just have one to read. And I don't know if it would be possible to put the links up with this when you post it.
Definitely.
If I send you the links.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the tube healer is available free, and that was the one that I wrote when Paul McKenna hypnotised me.
Right.
And that one is also about the potential inside of people. It's about people having the possibility of finding new ways of being, of being more open and more able to just enjoy their lives. And when I'm saying it with this awfully serious face, but it's it's about it really
You're
is
not that
about.
serious.
It's serious because it also a part of you and part of us thinks, poor people kind of thing. You don't realise what there
you've
is
got
out
inside
there,
you,
what
yeah.
you have inside you. You might be going around having a really down day, but if you were able to access your inner resources, you would actually realise how wonderful and beautiful everything is when you take all the garbage off and out of your mind that you've got in there that's sort of clambering it all up.
Definitely.
Well, I'll tell you what. Do you want to work as my advertiser?
Listen, one more question, Matt. When you write, do you sort of imagine it as a film when you're writing? Can you see the movie in your head? Can you see the characters, the colours? Are you really in it when you're writing? Yeah.
That's a great question. I'll give you a tip about that for me, and maybe other people will find it useful. Usually it's about the movie. Yeah, absolutely. What I do is it's actually there. It's in that part of my field of vision. Okay,
so
I look up and I just watch it, and I relax enough to allow, instead of me directing the characters, to allow the characters to talk and to allow them to do the things that they want to do. And I will have a very, very kind of distant, questioning mind here, whilst the action is going on here, and the questioning mind will sort of go, oh, okay, so what would happen if? And that's all it does, is it's a very, very quiet voice back here, which says, well, what would happen if? It's almost like you've got a director here and actors here. And the director says, well, what would happen if they walked down to the beach? What would happen if they didn't like each other? What would happen if... And so on like that. And so there's just questions are asked. Wow. And when the questions are asked, then the movie starts to respond. Wow. So that's one part of it. And all I do is I can touch type. So I don't need to look at the keyboard. All I do is watch. And I literally, like a court reporter or stenographer, I just write down what's going on. I just, it's like it's a completely separate process.
While you're looking up to your right, you're just writing like that as you watch the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's to my left, but yes, absolutely.
Your left. I'm getting confused. So it's to your left. Wow. So as you're looking up, and you do that simultaneously, you're writing. That is very interesting.
Yeah, and I don't look at the keyboard.
It's totally, trance.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. But there's a second part to the process. Okay, so once I've got everything down, the second part of the process is ensuring that the language is beautiful. Right. This is really, really important because obviously you've got to put yourself at least slightly into the mind of your reader. The reader needs a payoff. They need something that is beautiful for them to listen to read. There are several ways of engaging someone. There's being interesting, okay, which is fun. And one of the ways of being interesting when you're writing is to make sure that you keep shifting the way that you're writing. If you write sentences that are all the same length and have got all the same structure in them, then you're going to bore the pants off your reader. So one thing is to shift rhythm. So that you're kind of going long sentence, short sentence, not all the time. Sometimes you might do an incredibly long, beautiful sentence that flows from beginning to end over, what would normally be 2 or 3 sentences. And the music of it will pull the person forwards, the reader forwards. So that's one thing. And when I say the music of it, that was what I was going to say to you, is the tip when I'm reading back, is I actually have a voice. And it's a BBC reader's voice in my head. Wow. Yeah? So that when the story is read back, I imagine it being read back over the radio. Wow. Because I want the reader to enjoy it. Yeah. And most people, I know that not everyone does, but most people read auditorily. They read through their auditory channels. Yeah. So, so they actually have a voice in their head saying, that goes to be or not to be, that is the question, and so on. That's not one of mine, as we know. But what I did just there as well is exactly what I do in the writing. You'll notice I did to be or not to be, that is the question, and then I broke. Yeah. and I paint, and that's fractionation in NLP terms.
Yes.
Yeah. So you fractionate. So what you do is you go, okay, so we're taking someone down one alleyway, down one emotional state. Now we change it. We shift very quickly to something else, and it keeps them awake. It keeps them engaged, and then you put them back into that long relaxed style again that you're in, and then you break it again. And so you fractionate. You shift between ways of speaking to your reader, and that really helps. I mean, so what we've got into there is the stylistics, which comes after the creativity.
Wow.
And then,
the rhythm of it. Mm.
And then there's a final part, which is basically to go over it with a fine tooth comb to get the critic's voice in place. And the critic, what the critic will do is to make sure that everything is absolutely right. They go around, they make sure there's no dust on the furniture. They make sure that it is polished and clean.
Yeah.
And that's their job. And it's very important as a creative to make sure that the critic is kept in their place.
Yes. We agree with that, yes. Must be kept in their place.
If the critic comes in too early, you ruin the process.
You ruin the creativity,
You ruin it, yeah. He has to be kept in his place.
Should have a very tiny little
voice,
I would say, right at the end.
Yeah. I think so
It's
too.
like a little bit of furniture polish that's, the polishing of the beautiful work.
Yes, definitely. Well, it's been amazing to find out how you actually get creative and how you write your wonderful stories. And so when a film director will come to you in the near future, you've got it all planned out.
Yeah.
You know, your stories, it's interesting because the short part that I actually read, I could see a lovely film out of that. Yeah. And all of your stories, I can see films.
Yeah.
So it's just, and it's going to be great for you to actually collaborate with them. Because you can actually talk and...
Well, you've worked with television before, haven't you?
Yes, I used to write TV scripts, that's right.
Yeah. So it could also be a little TV show, program. Beautiful programs.
Beautiful.
Well, interestingly, there's another one that I'm doing at the moment, which is going to come out as a proper paper book in about a month's time or so, called The Three Bells That Star in We'll Meet Again. And that one I'd like to do as a radio play.
There you go.
That would be great fun. The Three Bells are a singing trio that they do 1940s reenactments. And so they're a bit like the Andrews Sisters. And I saw them play a gig. And I just went to them and I said, I love what you do. And I write a story about you. And I've written this story. I'll send it to you.
Great. Yeah,
look
wonderful.
forward to reading it then.
Wow.
And
it's been lovely. It's been lovely to get into your mind for this short time. Yeah, it's been very, very interesting. Thank you so much, Matt.
Yeah,
well,
thank you for talking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. It's lovely to see you again, ladies.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
And we'll post the links.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.